Under the cloak of night, the Babylonian palace throbs with life as nobles revel in unrestrained feasting. At the head of the colossal table sits King Belshazzar, draped in finery, his face flushed with wine and power, a symbol of absolute authority. Golden vessels, plundered from God's sacred temple, gleam under the lamplight, casting reflections of opulence and sacrilege. The air vibrates with music, laughter, and the clinking of goblets, a symphony of indulgence that masks an impending doom. Inside the Babylonian palace, a grand banquet unfolds, the air thick with the intoxicating scent of incense. Ornate goblets are raised high as guests toast to the towering golden idols that dominate the hall. Laughter and vibrant music cascade through the hall, a symphony of praise for false gods. Belshazzar raises his goblet, his voice booming with pride. Praise be to our gods who have granted us this glorious kingdom. The nobles respond in unison, their voices echoing in adoration. Hail, Belshazzar! Hail, our gods! Thick smoke billows, creating a haze that obscures and exalts the idolatrous scene. In the heart of the Babylonian palace, a giant, glowing hand materializes from nothing. The ethereal hand begins to trace letters of fire across the ancient plaster wall. The music grinds to an abrupt halt, its final note swallowed by a sudden, chilling silence. Guests freeze in place, laughter dying on their lips, goblets tilting, spilling wine onto the marble floor. A hush descends over the hall, heavy and absolute, as all eyes fixate on the fiery script. In the heart of the Babylonian palace, Belshazzar's face trembles, a stark close-up revealing his mounting terror. His crown sits askew, a symbol of crumbling authority. As his hand grips the goblet with desperate force, a ghostly pallor washes over his face, reflecting the supernatural dread that grips his soul. His eyes are wide with fear, fixated on the ethereal words glowing ominously behind him. Within the ancient Babylonian palace, scribes and astrologers gather under the flickering torchlight, their faces etched with confusion. Clay tablets, marked with cuneiform, scatter the floor, testaments to their desperate efforts. Shadows dance on the walls, amplifying the sense of unease as they struggle to understand the cryptic carvings. They strain their eyes, the torchlight reflecting in their worried expressions. The air is thick with the scent of clay and the weight of unsolved mysteries. Each attempts to decipher the ancient stone, hoping to unravel the secrets hidden within. Flickering torches cast long, dancing shadows across the opulent hall of the Babylonian palace, the air thick with unspoken dread. The queen, regal and composed, stands before King Belshazzar, his face a mask of fear and growing unease. Belshazzar, remember Daniel, she urges, her voice echoing in the vast chamber. His wisdom is unmatched in the kingdom. Servants rush to obey, their footsteps echoing through the vast palace as they seek out Daniel. In the heart of the Babylonian palace, the throne room glows with gold, heavy with the scent of incense and hushed anticipation. Belshazzar sits upon his ornate golden throne, a figure of regal power amidst the opulent surroundings. Before him stands Daniel, clad in a simple robe, his calm demeanor a stark contrast to the room's extravagance. Belshazzar's voice echoes through the hall, a tempting offer hanging in the air. Interpret the writing on the wall, and riches and honor shall be yours. All eyes turn to the mysterious script, an omen looming large in the flickering torchlight. Inside the opulent Babylonian palace, torchlight flickers, casting long, dancing shadows that animate the ancient walls. Daniel stands tall and resolute amidst the grandeur, his piercing gaze directly confronting Belshazzar. Belshazzar shifts uncomfortably upon his throne, the weight of Daniel's words pressing heavily on him. A ripple of unease spreads through the assembled nobles, their faces etched with curiosity and apprehension as they watch the unfolding confrontation. Daniel's voice resonates through the hall, a stark warning echoing off the gilded walls. "Remember Nebuchadnezzar, your predecessor?" Daniel proclaims, his words laced with prophetic gravity. His pride swelled until it angered God, who humbled him greatly. Within the Babylonian palace, fiery Aramaic words blaze on the wall, casting an eerie glow across the grand hall. Daniel stands before the glowing script, his figure a silhouette against the supernatural light. He gestures towards the radiant words, his voice resonating with ancient power. Men, Tekel, Parson, he proclaims, the words hanging heavy in the air, laden with prophecy. Inside the opulent Babylonian palace, Daniel's resolute figure stands in stark contrast to the lavish surroundings. He speaks with unyielding conviction, his words cutting through the heavy, perfumed air. Belshazzar recoils, his face a mask of disbelief and fury as the prophecy pierces his arrogance. "God has numbered your days," Daniel proclaims, the weight of his words settling upon the room. "You have been weighed and found wanting. Your kingdom will be divided." A ripple of hushed murmurs spreads through the assembled nobles, their faces reflecting shock and a dawning fear. Under the cold, indifferent moon, the mighty gates of Babylon splinter and yield. A relentless tide of Persian soldiers floods through the breach, their shadows stretching like grasping claws. Flames erupt, painting the night sky with strokes of orange and black as the city begins to burn. From the palace, nobles emerge, their vibrant robes a stark contrast to the grim reality of their flight. Opulent fabrics trail behind them as they are swallowed by the chaotic shadows of the fallen city. Inside the opulent Persian palace, Darius sits upon his majestic throne, a figure of absolute authority. Among a gathering of officials, Daniel stands with quiet dignity, his presence a stark contrast to the ornate surroundings. A palpable anticipation fills the air as Darius prepares to address the assembled court. Darius's voice echoes through the hall, declaring, "I hereby appoint Daniel as one of my top administrators." His words resonate with conviction. His wisdom and integrity are unmatched, solidifying Daniel's elevated position. Within the opulent Persian palace, darkness conceals envious eyes watching Daniel. Shadows deepen as nobles gather, their hushed whispers weaving through the grand hall. Candlelight flickers across ancient scrolls spread upon a table, illuminating a clandestine plot. Each noble's gaze is filled with malice, their intentions as dark as the palace night. The air is thick with unspoken treachery, a silent agreement binding the conspirators. Daniel remains unaware, a pawn in a dangerous game unfolding in the heart of the palace. Inside the opulent Persian palace, veiled intentions swirl among the nobles gathered before King Darius. A gilded scroll is presented, their flattering words concealing a treacherous plot. Unaware, Darius affixes his royal stamp, sealing a decree that demands worship for himself alone. The decree is sealed, solidifying the law that forbids prayer to any god but Darius. A conspiratorial glance is exchanged among the nobles, their deceitful plan taking hold. Their smiles, hidden behind silk and ambition, mark the beginning of a dark reign. In the solemn quiet of his chamber, Daniel kneels, a solitary figure framed by the window. Sunlight bathes the room, casting a divine glow upon his uplifted face and the city of Jerusalem in the distance. His hands are raised in devout prayer, a silent plea ascending towards the heavens. The city skyline shimmers in the radiant light, a beacon of hope and faith. In this moment of serene devotion, the world outside fades as Daniel communes with the divine. In the grand Persian palace, Daniel stands before King Darius, his posture radiating humility amidst looming danger. Accusers surround Daniel, their faces twisted with malice as they level accusations. King Darius sits heavily on his throne, his regal bearing shadowed by a deep, sorrowful gaze. The weight of the law binds the king, his power rendered helpless against the machinations unfolding before him. A palpable tension fills the opulent palace as Daniel awaits his fate, a solitary figure against the backdrop of royal decree and vengeful animosity. Under the harsh daylight, Daniel is lowered into the lion's den, a descent into darkness and uncertainty. Within the pit, glowing eyes emerge from the shadows, belonging to the hungry lions. Guards struggle with the massive stone, its weight a symbol of finality. The heavy stone grinds across the ground, sealing Daniel's fate in the echoing silence. Darkness descends as the last sliver of light vanishes, leaving Daniel alone with the unseen predators. Within the opulent Persian palace, King Darius is a tempest of restless energy, his pacing echoing in the silent chambers. Unable to find solace in sleep, his anxiety fills the room, a palpable tension in the air. Oil lamps burn low, their flames casting long, dancing shadows that writhe across the walls, mirroring the turmoil in Darius's heart. Moonlight streams through the tall, arched windows, bathing the room in a spectral glow. Dust motes, illuminated by the lunar beams, swirl around him like forgotten memories, each speck a silent witness to his sleepless vigil. The weight of his crown and kingdom presses heavily upon him in the quiet of the night. The first light of dawn touches the rough stone entrance to the lion's den, promising a new beginning. Darius approaches the den cautiously, his heart pounding with a mixture of hope and dread. From the depths of the den, Daniel's voice echoes, filled with awe and profound relief. "My God sent his angel and shut the lions' mouths," Daniel proclaims, his words carrying the weight of divine intervention. At dawn, Daniel emerges from the lion's den, untouched and serene, as if delivered by a miracle. King Darius raises his hands to the heavens, his face radiant with relief and awe at the divine spectacle. The lions remain calm, their powerful forms subdued by an unseen force as the first rays of sunlight illuminate their golden eyes. "The God of Daniel is the living God whose kingdom will never end," Darius proclaims, his voice echoing through the palace grounds as the sun ascends.